Philomenia.
Yay!
Celebrating the great poet, my sister, and John Thomas, great poet too. And this began. Do I need this mic down a little bit anyway?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, hey, this is
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's supposed to just keep it like that.
it's a directional one. It'll pick you up whether you were taller or shorter or like that.
I'm shorter. So actually, this began with Jim Smith years ago. From the Venice beachhead. After I lost my dear sister, twin sister, and he suggested to keep her legacy alive that we do every year around the time she died, which was my mother's birthday, August 21st, and 4 days after our birthday, August 17th. Oh, and by the way, this is my niece's, Philomene's daughter's birthday today, August 26th. So there's kind of a lot of birthdays involved here, but birth and death. Anyway, I am wearing this white dress, which is Philomene's, which I am not sure that she would want me to wear, but maybe after 10 years she would, say okay. And she loved wearing white because what is it called? Her influence was Emily Dickinson. And Emily Dickinson wore white when she wrote. And Philomene did too, And she actually died in white. But she would, she would wear this and, I could just feel, but I'm wanting her to come tonight. I want her to, say, Jesus, are these people reading my poetry? And I think she might. So, I think everybody knows who Philomene was, the poet laureate of Venice, a great poet, internationally known.
Actually,
I don't know. I don't have to tell you that she was,
One person doesn't know her. Tell who she was.
yes. We don't know her.
Well, she was born in 1940, an identical twin, who, that was me, who, we got along, we played together in the womb, outside, and then you will see later, we played together in film
She's poet laureate of Venice.
I could read a couple, she was known by a huge amount of people who loved her. She had a very, another word I can't remember, but when you're ignorant, whatever, loads of people loved her. And,
Popular.
huh?
She was popular.
She had a following.
She was charismatic. People just loved her. And I think there's a few people in the world, in this room right now who did. Now here, I'll read a couple of things, like from David Amrin, who was the collaborator of Jack Kerouac. Philomene Long, renowned poet whose original writings and readings helped keep alive the bardic tradition of Kerouac and others of a half-century.
Fix the microphone.
Huh?
Pull it down a little.
Pull it down to your lips. Just pull it down. Yeah.
That feels right.
Yeah.
Okay. And Timothy Leary, I forget what he said. It's somewhere here. Anyway, it was something like she has the energy of a spider or something. And of course, John Thomas. Philomena is a poet, a great poet. I envy her genius. Jim Smith, one of the best poets since Sappho. Jack Foley, you want me to describe Philomene? How does one describe the sun? So, it was sometimes a little difficult living with her. Having the sun next to you, and we are both Leos, you know. But I absolutely loved her, and you know, she loved me, and I wanted to read, if I can find it, her birthday poem to me, which, where is it? You know, I might read it at the end. It was, you know, a beautiful birthday poem. But you know, and she had those problems too. I think she lost things too. Anyway, so right now, oh, and then here she is. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful Philomene. Where is that poem, Herbie? Anyway, you can grab it from the books for the sake.
Pegarty, what are you looking for? I wanted to promote some stuff here.
Oh, okay. And I'll go look for the book.
Okay.
Not the book, the poem.
Well, Pegarty is looking for this terrific poem, and I've heard it before. It's worth waiting for. I just want to let you know that we have for sale in the lobby, and you can see Pegarty after the program.
Who are you?
I'm Richard Modiano, the director of Beyond the Road Literary Arts Center. We have this little perfect bound book, the Book of Sleep, that she co-wrote with John Thomas, and we have her. This is the collected poems, which you can get both from Pegarty in the lobby, and in the bookstore we have her. We have Philomene's film, The Beats in Existential Comedy, in DVD, and yes, even in VHS. A rare collector's item.
Which no one can play.
But, you know, Philomene was a major part of Beyond Baroque, and I'm unhappy that she is not going to be with us next year to celebrate Beyond Baroque's 50th anniversary. But she would definitely be a part of that, and she is going to be a part of that in spirit, because we are going to be celebrating all of the people who came through Beyond Baroque at one time or another in the course of their careers. Some people at the very beginning, for example, John Doe and Xth Annual, before they started X, met at Beyond Baroque in the Wednesday night poetry workshop, and as a result of that meeting, they started X, and X did some of its first shows in this theater. And other people who were in that Wednesday night workshop were the late Mike Kelly, after whom our gallery is named. Mike Kelly came out from Detroit, landed in Los Angeles, and went on to become internationally famous as a visual artist. He also made films, he staged happenings, he made unbelievable assemblages, but he was part of Beyond Baroque too. Viggo Mortensen was part of Beyond Baroque. At a certain point in his career, he remains a supporter through his press, Percival Press. They donate a lot of great books to us. In fact, Viggo said you can give these away as premiums to people who become members of Beyond Baroque. Well, we've run out of Percival Press books to give away, so we're waiting for more, but they will be coming. But I have to say that the founder of Beyond Baroque, George Drury Smith, turned 90 last March. And George is part of the 50th Anniversary Planning Committee, and he will be with us next year. He says, I'm going to live on at least one more year to see Beyond Baroque become 50 years old. And it is unusual for the founder of an organization, a small arts organization, to live to see it last 50 years. So, and we owe it all to George that we're here tonight. And of course, we owe it to Philomene, especially that we are here tonight. But let's say that George set it up and Philomene hit it out of the ballpark. So, anyway, we have a lot of great programming coming up in the rest of the year. Please do pick up a calendar on your way out tonight. Let me see, what else can I say, except that there was a great reading that Philomene did here with the late Scott Wamberg. Now, Scott was in a wheelchair because he had broken his ankle. So, and it was hosted by S.A. Griffin and myself. And Philomene had a brainstorm, and she said, I'm going to wheel Scott in. And we're going to do his deaf-mute routine. And what Scott would do, Scott made up sign language. So, as S.A., I gave a sort of introduction like this, and I said, now our host S.A. Griffin, and S.A. got up. And he said, well, you know, we couldn't decide who was going to read first. I don't know if it's going to be Philomene or if it's going to be Scott, but we'll find out. And then Philomene wheeled Scott in through that back door and wheeled into the front, and Scott was doing his fake sign language. And then Philomene stepped up to the mic and said, I'm going to interpret Scott's poem for you. And of course it was totally improvised. Even the poem was improvised. And I don't think we recorded it that night, unfortunately, but that was one of the best readings that we had here. And of course, anybody who knew Philomene knew that when she listened to you, she listened totally and completely. And I talked to her when she was going to be making a trip to Ireland, which alas, she never did make. And she said, have you been to Ireland? And I said, yeah, I went. I was there in 1971. Tell me about it. So I told her, I said a few words about it. She said, more, what else? So I told her the whole story from beginning to end, and she listened to every single word of that. And the part that she liked best was, I was there in 1971, and by coincidence, not by design, I was in Dublin for the 50th anniversary of the truce. There was a revolution in Ireland where it won its independence from England. There was never a surrender or anything, they just signed a truce. They said, we will stop fighting. Which was another way of saying, you've beaten us, we're leaving. And so she really dug that. Anyway, I'm glad that we were able to host the 10th Annual Philomenia. And it's always a great program, a great show, and all of the people that love Philomene show up and perform here and read here. So that's all I have to say. And Pegarty, did you find that poem yet? All right.
I can find the magnifying glass. Litany for Pegarty. Pegarty, consider the possibility in the trillion, billion, million light years since the beginning of this universe, and I don't know precisely how long afterwards it was with you that I was one, the same person, the very same person, only you in this immensity of space, as well as time. I shared a womb only with you. None other, and I knew you before you took your first breath, Pegarty, and you were the very first to put your arm around me in the same womb. It was your arm that consoled me. Pegarty, it was you who heard my first breath, and ever since we breathed together, for this, especially on our birthday, I am grateful. Yes, in the expanding universe of 5 billion years, is it? None but you, Pegarty, with whom in this expanse, as well as others unknown to me, I floated timelessly in that womb where we were kicked and slept in the warmth and the darkness from which I kicked you out into the world at 10 minutes to 10 at o'clock on August 17th, 1940, St. Vincent's Hospital, I kicked you into the blazing light so that your cries would be the first sounds in the billions and trillions of all sounds ever entered. Yes, all so that yours would be the first sound I would hear as I emerged from the darkness. And now, in my darkness hours, it is always your arm I feel, your voice that I hear. Makes me a little bit want to cry. Okay, so now we are going to go on with a big show, and we're going to have Rain Dog, R.D. Armstrong, read. He's a publisher for many years. He's really a Venice, LA icon with all the books that he has published. He published Philomenia and John in the Little Red Books long time ago, and he's now publishing anthologies for, now number 6. A huge accomplishment, and we love you.
The mad poet.
No, he is not a bad poet. He's a great writer.
Whatever his name is.
I will accept mad or bad. Yes, I kind of came late to the party. I didn't rekindle my poetry writing career until the early 90s. And by that time, Philomena and John had already established themselves. I mean, Philomena was known as the Queen of Bohemia back in the 60s and 70s in Venice, and John was the, he was the cook. He was the cook. Yeah, I heard he made a wicked tongue. I was lucky that I got to meet them through a Charles Bukowski memorial event that I held down at Sacred Grounds in San Pedro in 1993 or 4, I can't remember. And they came and read, and it was great. And then we sort of became friends. And what I liked about both of them was that I was some nobody, and John would actually call me up and ask me to listen to him read something that he'd just written and give him some feedback, which I thought was just, I didn't know what drugs he was on, but I was impressed, And Philly was kind of the same way. I mean, we would talk about poetry, and they had this fabulous knowledge of all things from the old days and everything like that. And I was, I was really sorry to lose them, I have to say. John was actually the second Lumix of the Year. My press is called Lumix Press. And Scott Wamberg was Lumix #1. And I published a book for John called Feeding the Animal, which has gotten some amount of acclaim. It's, everything I do is kind of on the down low. So, even though I've been publishing for over 20 years, nobody's ever heard of me. So, but that's okay. Someday when I'm gone, they'll find me and they'll go, "Wow, this guy's great, man. Where is he? We got to get this guy." "Oh, he's dead. Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, we'll have the annual Rain Dog Arena to celebrate his life, And so let's see. Philomena, I published 2 Little Red Books because she sent me such a great manuscript. We had to break it up. And First she sent me a collection of poetry that was about red. And I said, well, it's just called the Little Red Book Series because the covers are red. It doesn't have to be about red. Oh, okay. So she sent me The Queen of Bohemia and Cold Eye Burning at 3 a.m., which is a really, I think, a really excellent read. That's about it. So I've been tasked with reading some poetry by John. That guy over there. And I'm going to butcher this first title because I've already forgotten what Linda Albertano told me the word was.
She'll tell you again.
Okay. It looks like chiaroscuro. Scuro. Yeah, I'm not Italian, you know what I say. Her eyes in the old photograph trying to see beyond the horizon. Mine in another trying and failing to see nothing. All was so strange for us and dark, dark, dark. But we were delivered, blind and unknowing, married in the Book of Sleep, which is the title of the book that Pegarty just put out. Now it is long ago for Philomene, Christmas 1988. After the mythical coupling, after the rain, streams of water that had once been sky spent trickling languidly, lazy and irregular through broken gullies to wherever everything goes. After the mythical coupling, after the rain, birds singing in the wet hedges. After the mythical coupling, after the rain, they lie damp and close and still, wrapped in a single garment, sewn from butterfly wings. Now it is long ago, night is on its perfect way, and the moon is still hotly growing. This one's called Her Poor Things. Make her poor things. Make a heap on the door beside the bed. I think that's supposed to be floor, but
No, it is.
yeah, well, you know, got a person can't find a poem, you know, you can't expect them to give you the proper words all the time.
Yes, you can.
Philomene, come down and save me. All right, or John, come and kick me in the butt. Okay, let's try this again. Make a heap on the floor beside the bed, frayed old cloth purse crammed full and trailing sad little coils of toilet tissue, borrowed underpants, whose? Chico Marx Goodwill felt hat, Chico Marx. Satin blouse all creased minus a button. The small rest of it all junk, divested, bare. She brings poor efforts anyhow. 2 days now she's been gone. I'm edgy, I'm distracted, I miss her already. Oh, she'll be back and I can wait for the splendor, but damn it, I miss those old red socks. We need but follow. 2 bottle green ruby throats, one hovered just above our heads, buzzing as we walked. Then another, even closer, a foot before our faces, flirting backwards and gazing at us as we advanced. 1st of April, morning, and green hummingbird auguries. Philomene, we shall through it all, we need but follow. And the final piece, in the Iberian manner for Philomene. John was very good at writing beautiful lyrical poetry, by the way. Not your average beatnik stuff. No bongo drums for him. I am the flower always out of season, the tree grimly holding the sun's last light, long pale staff ending in smoke and voice, uninvented flesh at the edge of your dream. But I am he who will always find you in any of your clouds, plunging upward on heavy wings against the law of rain. Thank you.
two leaders, Philomena and John. Mariana Diddle is the author of the novel Confined, which was awarded the Litchfield Fiction Prize of two collections, Argentinos in Spanish Virgin, Argentina se hace cuento, I think I said that right, received third prize in UC Irvine's Chicano Latino Literary Award, and Era, published in Buenos Aires. Before her fiction, she worked for Clarín, the leading newspaper in Argentina. She is a member of Penn Center, UCLA, not UCLA, USA. UCLA on the brain. She was a dear friend of Philomene's. Philomene spotted her talent and her graciousness as soon as she caught sight of her. And when she was in a class of hers at UCLA, and I think Mariana felt the same way. And then Vincent Coppola is going to play John. Vincent has been a writer forever, before I ever met him, which was in 1972. He has written scenes for Francis Ford Coppola in the film The Conversation and appeared in Godfather 2. And he worked on the Smothers Brothers show. He's since turned to philosophy and playwriting. His grand new book, Super Metaphysics, has just been published in his play, Trying the Air Together, is being considered at Yale's new plays program. He teaches at UCLA. He was a longtime friend of Philomene's, whom he referred to as Nancy Drew. When they went on ventures together. Please welcome Mariana and Vincent Coppola.
I did feel the same way about Philomene.
Is this working?
You're working.
The box is small, jeweled, shut tight.
Closer.
Everything but the world is within it. It burns with music. We are inside, and inside one another, dragons, buried, sealed, darkness hums across the bed, great wings open and flex. Pearls blaze in the dark street, and all around us, whispering, stroking, sliding past the soft, black ice.
Palaces and colonnades, cities, neither wholly real nor wholly in the mind. But I am she who will always find you tracing the elusive future, tracing the path left in the air by tomorrow's butterfly through the 10,000 seasons of sand.
There is a wall, there is a wall, there is a wall, a wall, a wall, but push gently, gently, in just the right spot, and it will move a little but enough to split and slip through and away. Go naked, take nothing.
Your kiss, was it a kiss? Was a hazard, lava, cinders. The night lit up and all the trees caught fire. The next kiss, was it a kiss? Pumice, boulders and rivers of hot mud. The slopes, black, red, orange, flow after flow, wind turbulence in excess of 100 miles per hour. Krakatoa, Kilimanjaro, Kilauea, Mauna Loa, Vesuvius, the Andes, Mount St. Helens, and Shasta. You told me it was poems. I should have known, John. Your red suspenders should have tipped me off.
You bring me apple trees, flowering apple trees, all the lost best poems of Sappho, new life at the core of the flame, happy deaths in a sea of milk. My pockets are a poet's pockets, that is to say, nearly empty. Please accept what I bring to you tonight, a cold quart of Coors, $1.22. This limping, feeble poem, my whole heart.
Love, you are green and dark, the field. I walked as a child, slowly, slowly the snow. My favorite word was far, far, and the stars. How I had to close my eyes before they came too close. And the snow, you are snow, green like snow, and far. Love, love in our solitude. Even the sun will abandon us. Put off the naming of things. We'll do it together.
Winter. Darkness comes early. Nothing for us to do but climb into our bag and try to sleep. All night, the great, slow billows of solid cold press up through the earth, lapping and coiling beneath me and around me. Surely it is alive and a metaphor, this thick and monstrous cold. I love you, Pegarty. No matter the cold, no matter how long and dark the night, I have cast my lot with you. Dawn comes late and I am up and out, foraging under dripping, moss-covered trees, gathering dead wood for fire. The sticks are frozen to the earth. I break them free and bring them back to camp. There will be fire to warm you when you wake. I love you, Philomenia. The love is alive and no metaphor. Water is boiling for tea. Wake and be warm.
Thank you.
Now we have Karen Spritzler, who, I forget, has worn many two hats that can be, you know, in name. She is such a beautiful person and an angelic voice, and she is going to sing one of Philomena's poems to John.
She's not a phone book, but whoops. So, oh good, okay, we're good, that's real good.
We can't see your face with the flowers.
Oh, well, the flowers are better.
Can't see your face. There we go.
Really?
Yes. You want to see your face.
Okay. I wish the wind would not blow. I wish that time would go. When you came tonight to me, when you, dear, came tonight, when you came tonight to me. When you, dear, came tonight, but time went on just as before. Cause joy is hard to leave, but it's not our own. When you went tonight from me, when you, dear, went tonight.
So, next we're gonna have way long-time poets Linda Albertano and Michael C. Ford. For nearly, and I have known her, actually, I realize that long, for decades, Linda J. Albertano has unleashed her language on unsuspecting audiences in Europe, as well as coast to coast in America. With Wanda Coleman, she represented Los Angeles in the One World Poetry Fest in Amsterdam, receiving kudos from Poetry Flash. She's been commissioned to mount original works at the LA Theater Center. That's no small thing. The John Anson Ford and the Wadsworth, and the appeared at countless other world venues. She's also featured in the Venice Poetry Wall with such local notables as Jim Morrison, Viggo Mortensen, Philomene Long, and John Thomas. And Michael C. Ford, well, he's also been around forever. He's been in the poetry scene, and John Thomas, he met John Thomas in the Gas House audience where years ago, that was in Venice, where John was cooking up actually horse meat for the beat poets. You know, telling them it was sirloin, you know, what did they know, and they had a place to stay.
Shame on you.
He also, although he didn't speak to her, met Philomene waiting to attend a Jack Hirschman poetry reading outside Carondelet of Mount St. Mary's College in 1962.
Whoa.
Now I'm wondering, was she still a nun then?
I doubt it.
I think she was, what was she doing there? I think we were in Europe at that time. Anyway, you might have the dates with it. Let us know if she had her nun's outfit on.
See the lights now. Turn the light on over there, Eric.
John Thomas. Critical mass no larger than a few miles in diameter, and possibly only 10,000 years old. Even his early poems could drive a large locomotive. Sonnet for John Thomas. Shall I compare you to a winter's night? You are more tempestuous. Beside you, ice is not as quiet. and January young and impetuous. No stormy wind has pitch to match your magnitude. Within your voice, all other sounds are lost. One winter's leaf has not your solitude. No single purple rose contains your frost. Within your hush, the dripping icicle quakes and melting snows thunderous in your icy ruins below the surface of your frozen lakes. Within your hush, the dripping icicle quakes and melting snows thunderous in your icy ruins below the surface of your frozen lakes. There are older, colder moons. There is every season of snow, my love. You promise in the eternal winter of John Thomas.
The Conspiracy, an anniversary poem. Tonight, a year ago, I kissed you first, your first sweet breath in my mouth. There has been no year ever like this one. I love you, Philomene. My heart, my counterpart, last night, your breath on my bare back as I lay, not quite asleep. I love you, Philomene. Breath, as they say, of my life, 100,000 joyous lifetimes. We breathe together. We breathe together.
Come, my love, seduction ball. Come, my love, pursued by muses you do not believe in. Come, my love, a kiss. I am their small daughter. They wish to taste your open mouth in mine, my love. Come, I am reclining, wretched, wounded by their constant crimson mourning. Lost in their golden hills, they pipe inept concerts in imperturbable solitudes. Come, the morning is a wound, dreaming in confusion, for love of you who disbelieves. We have been awake for hours, pining. My love, come. My lips are the scarlet dawn fury until they meet yours. In my mouth are secrets, the whole of County Cork, the ruins of Persepolis, the very next poems you will write. No, I will not tell them. They will be only my lips, love, not the hills of Antium, not the poets of Lesbos, only my lips. Yes, when the morning star rises, I promise you will come after the kiss, the trembling, drunken, green.
At that still point, that perfect morning long past, when we strolled beneath the tall trees, we walked on coins of sunlight, our bare feet were stained by wild strawberries, and if they could prove that it had never happened, what would have been proved? For it is everywhere, this faint scent of crushed strawberries. It does not notice time and proof, and she and I, at this still point, where what they call reality touches the edge of the forest they call the world of dreams. Just there, another innumerable sunrise intercepts us, fixes us, golden in its radiance forever.
3 poems from the Japanese. Where can I hide my love for you? Not in my braids. You will loosen them. My lips, you will open them. Heaven and earth are too grew small. With you, I am a nun again. Without a sound we sit, shadows cast by moonlight through white petals. Idle floating continents, warming of an ice age.
Poem written while you sleep. I'm going to sweep you up, carry you away from this terrible thing, that hateful thing, and hide you where it could never find you. I want to keep you always secret in a small cottage deep in the woods where no one ever goes. This terrible thing, this hateful thing, will waste its ugly days. Searching for you everywhere else will become ridiculous in the world's regard. While I feed you wild strawberries, the grass will cross the track unhurried, just ahead of us on a secret ramble of its own. And night after night, this terrible thing, this hateful thing will howl at the moon in its baffled malice, and the moon, which loves us, will tell it nothing. All the while, pouring its discreet yellow light through our bedroom windows into your untroubled dream.
Wedding poem. Before the stars were frozen into fire, I remember your voice grew stronger in the darkness, which even then could not separate us. Remember? I called you. I said, I will not stand without you. Between the cold seraphim and that heart which could not separate us in that darkness, I stood beside you.
The wall. There is a wall. There is a wall. There is a wall. A wall. A wall. But push gently, gently, in just the right spot, and it will move. A little. But enough to slip through and away. Go naked. Take nothing.
Mirrors are sleeping winds in this glass room. Its window dreams into frost. Hours after hours pass. I sit before it, death, swinging in slowly in her pleated black skirt. That night, black as patent leather shoes, it is palatable. The sounds of the newly dead, grinding their teeth in a grin of relief, too soon to be ghosts, too late to speak, as I, neither fully dead nor fully alive, sit with them upon their marble lakes. I do not feel their marble kisses upon the poems steaming on my marble lips.
While you read this, love, please turn your back to me. The last poem written by me. Spring 1939, down Pimlico Road to Cold Springs Lane, then east down the hill on the north side, set far back in the oak woods, the old haunted house where years before two crazed old spinsters had murdered one another or something. Violet Hill, covered with violets every spring. Now, surely, it is all built over houses or a shopping mall. The flowers and their heady fragrance are long say it deep, deep in my mind, my heart. Today I have picked a basket full of them, woven them into a thick cornet, and crept up behind you. Now, quietly, softly, as you read this, I have crowned you with long-gone violets, O queen of my heart. They're always yours. They will rest lightly atop your hair forever. My Valentine gift for this year, 2002. John Thomas.
Are Susie and Brad here?
Yes.
Oh, God! I couldn't see you. Would you come up and sing your songs? It's Susie the Songbird, diva of Venice, and Brad.
What the hell is he?
What the hell is he?
Devo.
I've been to his apartment, and he's one of those things you have all categorized. Musicology, it's called.
No, piano rolls.
Piano rolls. It's amazing.
Okay. Susie?
You start.
We can't see you with the flowers, darling.
Tell us what it is, because I forgot the name.
Who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
Who am I? Yes, I am the voice that comes in the night. I don't threaten. I don't even promise. I just hang around. I'm going to do a poem written by John Thomas in a, I understand, uncharacteristically jocular mood, and it's called Our Sunday Outing in the Mountains. On the way to Tuna Canyon, some discussion of my driving skills. And she finally took the wheel. Neil Cassidy, I am not. Gentle Jesus, meek and mild, she is not. To swim in the stream, which was only 3 inches deep. We simply became very small. At the top of the stream, was the interpretive version of this.
Thank you, Mr. K. I spent an afternoon going to Tuna Canyon soon after you wrote the melody to that, Mr. K. And
A little field research.
yeah, and it was just, you know, infusing my afternoon, that music. And I want to thank Pegarty for the infusion of such magic, that sort of Pegarty, Philomene, longy, twinny, yummy, Irishy thing. Thank you, Kay. Here's a simple love song with words by Philomene. You don't do much, but what you do is good. You don't say much, but what you say you should. You have something about you makes me sing my song, and not be long, 'cause it relaxes me. You got strong arms and a strong head too. You do the kind of things that strong people do. Soft in the middle, but I like that too. I got it, honey, ooh, ooh, it relaxes me. You're not always right, you're not always wrong. You don't really have a home, but wherever you are, you seem to belong. That's why I'm never wrong. Take it, Mr. K, yeah. You're not always right, you're not always wrong. You don't really have a home, but wherever you are, you seem to belong. That's why I'm never wrong. You don't do much, but what you do is good. You don't say much, but what you say you should. Something about you makes me sing my song, and I'll get along, 'cause it relaxes me. It relaxes me. It relaxes me.
Karen, come up for your beautiful last song. We're getting close to the evening.
No intermission.
Close to the evening. Back to pathos. Thank you. Okay, so let's see this one. Oh, you know what? So this is a poem that Philomene wrote, and I think it's so beautiful. I hope I can
give it the life it deserves. Oh wait, this is the one. Close call. Okay, here we go. You have filled me with your seas. Your moons all move in me. Your birds fly through the wide, wide sky. That now my eyes, I have given you my mountain, my trees at rest, my sea blue, in the soft, soft wind our rivers never sleep. Our stars extend wide within our love, where there is no end.
Yes.
Thank you, Karen, Susie, and Fred. Okay, going to end the evening with a poem by Philomene, and then a film. The Ghosts. This is, of course, about by Philomene and about they're gone. Anyway, the Ghosts of Venice West. They are already ghosts, John and Philomene, as they pass along the boardwalk, this highway of poetry and death, where ghosts and poets overlap as they pass the gulls, ghosting above their shadows. Everything's haunting everything. Already ghosts, John and Philomene, under the ghost lamp posts of Venice West, the breath of sleep at rest, lost at the edge of America. Already ghosts, and each poem already a farewell. Everything's haunting everything. The sea is the ghost of the world.
Wow.
And now I'm going to bring Philomene back
know, she didn't come with the dress, but she will come with the magic of cinema, you know, and so we're going to show for the last, oh yeah, good, Eric, all right, we're going to show a film that I made in the early days of UCLA. Peter McCarthy's here, Vince is here, you know, from UCLA days, avant-garde. If you don't understand it, you know, you have to go with the flow. That's the way we did it at UCLA in those days, or at least I did it. And basically, basically the through line is love, the search for the interior. It's a surreal, as Kevin, what's his name? Thomas, the LA Times film critic said, a surreal nightmare of a film which attests to Pegarty or Ms. Long's stunning sense of imagery. So it's working with film language, telling a story, going into the depths, and searching for the mystery, for the muse, and for love, and you know, it prefigures, or filming was already doing it, but it prefigures what she did in the future too.
Move the microphone. Move the mic.
What?
The mic.
Move the microphone.
And the chandelier. Come on, Eric, get on it.
Move it.
Move it, Eric. Eric, move it.
Move the shirt so you can compare it. Put it on the ground.
There's no sound.
You have demons? I have demons too. They come at night with claws and nails. They grab my feet and nail my soul to heavy bars and say that I can't love. Philomene. It's time. It's really time. Mother, my joints are aching, and I feel sad. There are no mothers here. Sand in the night smells good, and love might even come. The self-preservation instinct having been overruled, she's dead. She's dead. She lies no more in her warm bed. She is in the cold ground instead. We have demons too. We have demons too. And then there are always other possibilities. And sometimes there's not. But usually it's good to look anyway. Survival, to some extent, is sheer luck, no doubt. I like to look at Kitty's feet. Kitten can be free. We have demons too. Cross my heart, hope to die. Stick a needle in my eye. Tick, tick, tick. God, my heart, hope to die. In my eye. Stick in my eye. Tick, stick, tick, stick. The womb is the tomb, ultimately. But there are moons to feel and gold to put in our hair. She is the poet of the muse. She may speak to you of green grapes and apple trees and mystery in the heart of things. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. There's silver things, and wings and things, and maybe even love. You can really love. still a little life left in that old girl? She said yes, yes. There's mystery in the heart of things, and you can really love. See, there's still a little life left in that old girl. One second of time is the magic. Goodbye, Philomene. Goodbye, Philomene. The muse, the muse, the muse. I have seen the muse, and she has spoke to me. I am the apples and the trees and mystery in the heart of things. What did she do to deserve all this? She suffered and was human and took a risk. What risk did Philomene take? She tried, for goodness sake.
She's